Hi, I'm Molly.
And I'm Jaymie, and this is our From the Pasture with Hired Hand podcast. As the owners of Hired Hand website software, we've been developing websites and creating internet marketing strategies for livestock breeders for the past 10 years.
The majority of our customers are involved in the breeding of registered animals, such as Texas Longhorns, Highland cattle, horses, and white-tailed deer, where the pedigrees are very important. The From the Pasture with Hired Hand podcast examines many of the differences in raising pedigreed livestock for maximum profit. Join us and learn what we're covering today.
Well, today we're going to be talking with Chase Vasut and Ann Gravett about the 2024 Millennium Sale. You guys want to take 2 seconds and introduce yourselves?
Yep, I'm Ann Gravett, managing partner of the Millennium Futurity.
And I'm Chase Vasut. I'm helping Ann throughout the process with the Millennium. There's a lot going on, and work with the Longhorn Legacy Group.
Ann, and you personally have had Longhorns for quite a few years now, right?
Right.
How many years have you had them?
Ben and I got into the Longhorns at the end of the 80s. We kind of transitioned over from the quarter horse world. We showed quarter horses nationally for years and years. And as he got into cutting horses, and then we started getting in cows here and there. One of the loads of cows had a little Longhorn in it. And as we all know, the bug bites and it takes off from there. So we transitioned at that point in time into the Longhorn world.
Nice. And how did you get involved with the Millennium?
Well, Ben created the Millennium. It was originally the first year. It was actually called the G&G Millennium Futurity. And he created it basically in hopes of creating, making our heifers more valuable and our young bulls more valuable. And that was his hope through all of this. And here we are. It's worked, and it's created futurities all over the country. And I sure hope he's proud of what we're doing. I was gracious when asked to take it back from Christy Randolph after she had it for a few years and managed it for us. So it was quite an honor for it to come back home to G&G, for sure.
So tell us a little bit more about the Millennium. I know that there's partners. Can you talk about how you become a partner?
Yes, to become a partner, it's a $5,000 fee to join the Millennium Futurity, and that's for a lifetime. There are no more fees after that. And what that entails is it gives you access to the Heifer Sale, because the Millennium Futurity Heifer Sale is utilized only for partners to be able to consign animals to. And this year we've added something new for our partners. If they win grand, heifer, or bull, those partners get a $10,000 prize. So we're constantly trying to come up with incentives all the time to create new partners. Like when it first started, the only people that animals could show in the futurities were the animals that belonged to the partners. So it was kind of an exclusive thing. We had to work closely with the associations to be able to have the papers stamped to see what animals were eligible. Now, as everybody sees their papers, just about every animal out there is eligible to show in the Millennium.
So you mentioned partners. How many partners are there in the Millennium?
They're active. There's probably a little over 50 that are active. Several inactive partners that, since the beginning, it's definitely evolved. And like I said, the first couple of years, there were just a few partners, and then it kind of grew from there and it just exploded. But I would say right now there's over 50 active members.
Nice. Well, should we talk about last year's sale?
Sure.
Do either of you remember the top sellers from last year?
It was Torkelson's, I believe, right, Chase?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Bill and Suzanne brought a in-like Flynn daughter. And I think RTG bought her.
Yes.
And then second, it was real close. She was earlier in the sale, a Hudson branded heifer, and I'm not sure who bought her. I think those are the top two at like 25 and 21.
23.
23.
Yeah. You have such a good memory, Chase.
I'm on it.
The top 10 animals last year averaged over $9,000. So I was pleased with that.
Definitely. Yeah. And especially, it's not a very big sale either. So it's nice to see that those top 10 average that.
No, we usually end up around that 30 lot number. I think we've got 33 lots this year. And that's just I think it's a good size for that sale.
Well, should we jump into this year and talk about the schedule of events?
Sure.
So what's going to happen on Wednesday?
Wednesday, we've just got animals are able to come in from 12 to 8 on Wednesday. Did you catch that 12, Chase? On Wednesday, just because some people wanted to come in early, give their animals a chance to rest. And then from 8 to 8 on Thursday, also animals will be able to brought in.
And if people need to get a hold of anybody for the back crew, who should they contact?
Sean Peccano is working the back crew for us this year.
And I'm assuming his phone number is probably in the catalog for those people that may not have it.
If not, it's on my website. And I'm not sure if it's on the Millennium website or not, but it's on the G&G website.
Okay. And
Chase as well. They can always get a hold of Chase as well, and he can direct them to where they need to go.
Okay. So you said Thursday the cattle arrive then as well. There's also something else happening on Thursday, right? In the evening?
Yes. We've started something new. We did the bourbon tour for 2 years in a row. Wanted to try something a little different this year. So we're introducing the Millennium Games. And the theme this year is bourbon and brains, going with that Kentucky theme for the bourbon. That's going to be at 4 o'clock out in the parking lot of the Bluegrass Stockyard Sale Barn.
Can anybody participate, or is it full, or is there a limit?
It's not full. We're taking 10 teams of 3 people. We've got room for 1, possibly 2 teams. I've got one person that's kind of waiting on some people to participate to see if they will join him in a team. It will be a total of 30 people, 10 teams of 3.
Can you give us any details about what's going to happen during these Millennium Games?
Some of it's going to pertain to mixology, maybe tasting a drink and giving what you think the ingredients are, maybe recreating the drink yourself. We're going to have a mixologist on hand that's going to be assisting with all of this. There will be some brains part of the games that are puzzles. You'll get clues, and that's how you'll get to the end. Each team will get clues to get to the end to see who can win the grand prize, which that's a secret.
Okay. Darn it. Thought maybe we could get it out of her. Okay, so that's Thursday. What happens on Friday?
Friday, we've got the Bulls show at 10 o'clock, and we will, somewhere around there, probably around 2 o'clock, we'll have a brief partners meeting, Millennium Futurity partners meeting. We'll just be in the sale arena for that. We meet once a year, usually at the event for our annual meeting. And then at 5:30 this year on Friday, we're going to do the heifer sale. We're kind of taking it back to like it used to be. We sell the heifers on Friday night. When they show on Saturday, they're now showing in the new owner's name because all the heifers that are consigned to the futurity are also entered into the show. And we've had it happen before where, you're actually able to win some money. So it's kind of nice to help pay for your animal, possibly.
I think it was Rob Finza one year bought a heifer Friday night, and the class sizes are big, the payouts are huge, and he won the class and got her in the Calcutta, and I think wound up after buying the heifer made like $600 or something.
Yeah.
So he got the heifer for free. So that's pretty cool. And the partners bring some of their best. Like Ann said, there's only a pool of 50 that we can get consignments from. They bring their best that are going to show. So if you buy, you could walk away with the free heifer with what she wins. 21 partners consigned this year. That was a good showing, and they're bringing some really good animals.
Do you know how many bull entries there are?
I know we've got 40-something bulls, and the remainder are heifers. We've got over 200 entries all totaled.
Okay, nice.
Hidden Springs Ranch, located in central North Carolina, is committed to registered Texas Longhorns. From our high-end breeding stock down to our delicious Longhorn beef sticks. Check us out at hslonghorns.com or on Instagram at Hidden Springs Ranch. Hidden Springs Ranch, where they're bred to turn heads.
Looking for top-quality Longhorns and a taste of true Texas spirit? Look no further than Cantera Cattle Company. Our passion for Longhorns shines at Old Gringo Ranch, where tradition meets excellence. Visit us online at CanteraCattleCompany.com and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for the latest updates and ranch life fun. Ready to experience it yourself? Schedule your visit by emailing CanteraCattle@gmail.com. Remember, God is great, Longhorns are good, and life is crazy.
From the Pasture by Hired Hand is presented by R3 Hilltop Ranch. Located in Chilton, Texas, R3 Hilltop Ranch has been breeding registered Texas Longhorns since 2006. What began as 3 heifers has grown into our current herd, which you can explore on our website at r3hilltop.com. We're passionate about loud colors, longhorns, and docile temperaments, but it's the easy-keeping, low-maintenance traits of Texas Longhorns that initially attracted us and continue to drive our herd growth. In addition to livestock, we proudly offer certified Longhorn beef products. Visit r3hilltop.com/beef to learn more. Thank you for listening and enjoy exploring our ranch online at r3hilltop.com.
Let's go ahead and we'll talk more details about the sale. I know you mentioned that only partners can consign. What are the other rules around the animals? Are there other rules?
They have to be of age to be able to show in the classes. So nothing older than can show at the Millennium. We do have one new thing we're doing this year. We have an embryo lot. We've never done that before. So obviously that one's not entered for this year, but it will be paid up in next year's Millennium Futurity for whoever buys that.
Okay.
Well, she's not born. She's in the oven now, but next year, whoever buys her can take her, and she is entered to show. It's a guaranteed heifer embryo from Jay. So she'll be ready to show next year.
And who are the sale day contacts?
It's going to be Chase, Sean, myself. I guess we can throw Dan's number in there if he wants to be harassed by people.
Joe Sidlachik is also working the office.
He'll be in the office, yes.
So if you can't get a hold of any one of us, and then we always volunteer Jaymie as well to take photos, ask questions, that kind of stuff.
Definitely. Always happy to help. And you mentioned Dan. I assume he's going to be the auctioneer this year?
Dan is the auctioneer, and Chase is doing our commentating.
And Sean's handling the animals in the back, like we already mentioned, for those people if they need to get a hold of somebody back there.
Yes.
What about haulers?
We've got, I know Matt Bourbon's going to be there, Dan Grove, Ryan Culpepper.
There's quite a few. I mean, Jay will be hauling back. Dylan might have some room. Jeremy James. I know Justin McNeese is hauling for like Cindy Boland. So we'll have plenty of haulers there to get stuff, brought back to you. As always, at any sale we do, just bid in confidence. We've never left an animal at the barn.
True.
And earlier you mentioned you had 21 consigners. You want to talk about them?
Well, we're just thankful for these partners that stepped up and put these animals in, for sure. We've got some new consigners, the Feigls that have just joined. So that's always exciting to have something like that.
And I'm sure you have some of the ones that are always there, like Lonesome Pines, Hoosiers.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Longtime supporters, like I said, Hoosiers, John and Christy, Brett and Teresa, I think have consigned every year since they've become
Cindy Boland.
Bill Hudson.
Yep.
The Tomies. And then, like Ann mentioned, the newest partners, Aaron and Courtney Feigl, put a real nice heifer in. Mike Young, try not to miss anybody. We have Mike Casey. I don't know how long he's been a partner. He was one of the early ones. And
yeah, there's several of our early ones between myself and then Lonesome Pines, the Bolands, and Mike Casey. Those are some of our original people for sure.
Well, let's jump in and talk about the consignments. Do you have any updates on any of the animals or scratches?
There's one scratch, HL Charlotte. That's an animal that the Hudsons consigned. She is out. And then Mike Young has a substitute on his lot number 5. And he has stepped up and really put a good heifer as his substitute. She was already entered in the futurity to show, and he has decided to put her in. I think it's going to go well for him. He did a good job there stepping up. But those are the only 2 so far that we've got.
And earlier you talked about a unique lot that you have in the sale. I think it's lot 1, the embryo. You want to talk a little bit more about that one?
Yeah, from Jay and Susie Walker, there's always the misconception of, hey, if it's lot 1, it's not going to do as well. Well, Jay's been ringing it all year, so he actually begged us for lot 1. Kid Rock is the sire out of that Smoking Hot Amber. I can't remember what it sold for at the Fall Classic, but done really well. Kid Rock is now as of last week or 2 weeks ago at the Horn Showcase, surpassed Cowboy Tough as the longest horn bull in the breed. Jay's got a really good embryo program, and this is going to be out of a 90-inch cow and 107.5 or 3/4 inch bull. So you'll get to take home. What Jay does is he normally brings a pretty cool recip to town. So that's a good way to step up your program there. Again, it's the first time. I don't think there's ever been an embryo sold at the Millennium Futurity sale.
So now I have a question for the two of you. Would you rather guess the top 5 or do you want to play Catalog Roulette?
Let's do Catalog Roulette.
Okay, here goes.
Uh-oh.
Here goes. I'm just going to scroll through my catalog over here on my iPad and just pick a lot, and then you get to tell me about her. All right? Let's go with lot 4.
Lot 4.
That's the Feigls lot.
Yeah, that's our new members. Yeah, they've put in a real pretty little brindle girl.
Yeah, she's a catch HR side of a Harrowbred bull, smoking lady. A lot of people, they don't get to travel as much. They're so busy on the farm. But Courtney's got some kind of like big trending podcast. What it's called, like two farms or two girls.
I think it's called, I always get it messed up, but I think it's Ag's Okayest Farm Girls.
Yes, that's it. That's it. The Okayest Farm Girls. And they do a ton of promotion on their stuff. So they've got a really, really nice young bull that's been winning. But yeah, this little heifer, she just turned a year old in July. Not going to be bred. Really, when they became partners, dug straight from the heart.
Yeah.
Well-built brindle, and I think she's one that can be really competitive in her class for the Futurity. And she's already won a Futurity, I think, too. She won at the
Cheesehead.
Do you sometimes feel like you're the only one who doesn't have it all figured out? Rural life can be isolating, but it doesn't have to be.
Welcome to Ag's Most Okayest Farm Girls, the podcast for women who are craving connection, laughter, solidarity, camaraderie, and just overall encouragement in your everyday life and dreams.
Each week, your hosts, Annalise, that's me, and Courtney will cover topics such as farm life, mom life, making money online, side hustles, hobbies, sharing on social media, jobs off the farm, and so much more.
Us rural gals need to stick together, so saddle up for some fun, real, and unsolicited advice and stories from our everyday farm lives.
Grab a drink, we're Ag's Most Okayest Farm Girls, and we're here to help. Listen wherever you find podcasts.
Hey, if you love From the Pasture with Hired Hand, why not go check out my podcast, The Big Iron Podcast with Andrew Shigori, where we dive into the world of registered Texas Longhorns and what it means to be an agriculture entrepreneur in the modern world, with a little southern flair, of course. Find the Big Iron Podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
Love what you're hearing? Be sure to check out our Pickup Truck Confessions.
It's a video series where we hop in the truck or rental car and interview a variety of breeders about what drives their passion for their livestock, how they got started in the breed of their choice, marketing tips, and more.
And now, back to the podcast.
All right, the next one, let's do lot 9.
That's our buddy Gregory Cott, right? Laid Back Ranch.
One of his higher ground heifers.
Yep.
Higher ground, I don't think he needs an introduction. He goes back to Horseshoe J Important. You got Vindicator, who sold for $100,000. Now, her mother is Gilliland bred cow, and that's going back. You got Pacific Mermaid there, who I think I'd stand on a soapbox and say she's one of the best producers we have in our breed. And the Royal T-Bull, that's a Houdini son. So really cool outcross, higher ground, Vindicator, got Huntsman Man respect with Houdini and Mermaid. So, again, she's not exposed, but that's a pedigree. If you have any tough sons, 50-50, catch it, that you can breed her with confidence. You're not really line breeding her that. It's really cool outcross. And she got one of the prettiest faces. It's just kind of that mottled Parker Brown or black and white. Again, every one of these heifers, Ann has talked to the partners and kind of gotten to hand pick them. And this is one that Greg is always willing to step up and support. And he said, let's do it. And she just turned a year old like a month ago, August 30th. She's going to be, I think, one of the younger ones we sell.
Okay, how about lot 13?
That is Tink's Right On CA, Brian and Karen Allen of Blanket, Texas. She's a BR Mr. Right daughter, built really well. For those of you that got to see him, I think he weighed in. I mean, they literally loaded him in the pasture and brought him to Bull Alley, and he was still like 18, almost 1,900 pounds. He's out of a drag. Mr. Wright is a drag iron and Helms Lower Light Mocha, so that's double bred Jamaicism. And then out of a Loomis bred cow, you got Jamaicism, Cowboy Catch It, Jimmy Jones with the innovative cow, but a real tight lateral twist and flat horn and built really well. I think it represents their bull and what he's producing.
Lot 18.
Dillinger's Ring HCL. That's Michael and Brandy, right? Their consignment. Yeah, she's pretty cool. You know, I still talk to them. You know, they betrayed Texas and moved to Oklahoma. But it's amazing the amount of horn that they're pushing out on their animals. This one, he's a Dillinger Checks. He's going back to BL Dazzle. Her grandmother sold for $50,000 at the Legacy. Get Safari Sue, the real twisty Brindle Loomis cow. And then out of a Dusty daughter. Austin Roy, I think, just posted a bull. He's like 89 inches, not even 3 out of Dusty. I think half of his calf crop is over 70 at 2 years old. So she's got a lot of horn, and this is a heifer can compete and possibly win in the Futurity. But then, you know, next fall you put her in a measurement contest, and she's going to win you some bronzes. She's not exposed as well, which the majority of these animals, unless they get older, are not going to be exposed just because she just turned a year old in July. They brought a really good one from the heart of their program.
The next one is lot 21.
21.
Feather Muffin. That's Daryl Presley.
Yes, and so Ann knows a lot about this pedigree. It's cashed out, Catch It son, and then I think so. There's three, 4 cows that I'll say are probably the prettiest in the breed, and they interchange. But her mother, Painted
She's beautiful,
she's 87 inches, twisty horn, and just confetti colored, spotted up. Real pretty. And then she's bred to Just Feeling It. He's projecting over 90 inches out of Just a Bed and a Justified daughter. This heifer's got a lot of horn in her pedigree, and the Presleys really stepped up. And they were the absolute first consigner, weren't they, Ann?
Yes, absolutely.
So he's had her picked out since she hit the ground, and now's the time to party and sell her.
What do you know about lot 26?
She's nice.
Delta Lucky Ace daughter.
This is Hoosier. Delta Lucky Ace, the full brother to Delta Lucky Lady. He was breeder voted ultimate bull. The Hoosiers, they're not you've heard their name for years, but they're not a gigantic program. They don't have 200 cows. What they like to do is build up. Once they get a replacement, they feel they can sell. So this Ace daughter, real flat horn, real beautiful coloring, and they got a Native Legends heifer out of her last year. And so that's why they're able to sell her. And she's actually coming bred to Native Legends. That goes back to Native Beauty, sold for $210,000. We saw him at the showcase as well. This is one of our older. She turned 2 in April. It's going to be a good one to take home and get a Native Legends baby out of.
They always step up early, too, and do a big sponsorship for us. Just wonderful supporters.
How about lot 29?
That is Mike and Tracy's Youngs.
Yeah, another one of his Roscoe daughters.
Yeah. And what's cool, Roscoe, he throws a ton of brindle, but I think this is going to be one of the first ones sold that's black and white. He had a daughter sell for, top the sale. I think, was it the Roscoe daughter that was the high point heifer last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
The bull's just flat out getting it done. So, they've had a lot going on this year. They got a new baby, and with the move to the new farm and all that, they didn't get a chance to consign to a lot of sales. Mike and Tracy stepped up, and so they're bringing a pretty one. She's young, just turned a year old, beginning of September. If you're looking for horn and a Futurity candidate or prospect, this is definitely her.
What about lot 33? I think that's the last one in the sale.
One of our OGs, Mike Casey.
Yep, Fairlay. This is Pacific Serafina. So, as a lot of people have seen on Facebook and all that, Mike sold the Texas ranch. So he's not out. He's got his cows in California. He's just so busy with stuff going on. He doesn't have time to get back to Texas as much. So this heifer was one that was in Texas, and he decided to sell her at the sale. She was the last heifer to step foot off of the Bowie Ranch. We picked her up at the showcase. Mike, he's been a tremendous supporter of everybody throughout the Longhorn industry. I think he's one of the few guys that wants to see other people succeed more than he wants to succeed, right? Real special man. And this heifer is out of Ferdinand. He's owned now by the Dinwitties and Eppersons. He's over 90 and out of a rowdy daughter. I got to see her last week when we picked her up. She got quite a bit of horn, real pretty feminine heifer. And with that Ferdinand, she'll change color. She'll look red roan, then she can go purple. But I think it's a real special lot just with what's been going on with Mike. He wanted to support even though he couldn't make it out there. He's got all kinds of business stuff and all that going on. But she's a real pretty heifer that he's excited to see go to a good home.
We had somebody call last week also with a donation lot. Josh Dinwiddie wanted to donate 5 conventional straws of concealed weapon semen, with proceeds going to help New River Ranch with all the devastation that they had during the hurricane. So we're going to also have that in the sale this year.
You can't get that. I mean, obviously concealed weapon is gone. I think they've locked down that semen. So that's, once he passed away, they said we're selling no more. He's sired a 20 gauge, a lot of other greats. His mother, examples, one of the prettiest cows and best producers we have. So if you missed out on the boat last time they sold it, this will be one of your only chances to get concealed weapon semen. And helping Mark and Savannah, which, we've seen all the trouble they've had with the hurricane and what it did to their ranch. So it's going to a great cause.
Are there any that I didn't pick that you want to talk about?
This is the part where we always get in trouble, because if I single one out and I don't mention John Randolph, he sends me a nasty message. They all are winners in my book. The Tomies put in a really nice heifer. That lot 3. Hudson's heifer that they have coming in, the one that did not scratch, talking to Mike, she is blowing it out in horn. Body's great. The projection she has, and this isn't she could be something I spewed from the auction block. This heifer's got a really good shot of being like 72, 73 inches on her second birthday. And hats off to them for bringing her. I think Liz is going to do some Facebook promotion on her, but that's one you definitely need to look at, because it's just a crazy amount of horn. Brett and Teresa brought straight from their herd. Again, the majority of these animals have been handpicked and talking to consigners. So I don't want to short anybody by not mentioning them, but it'll be a 5-hour podcast if we say how much each and every heifer.
Well, I'll take you off the hot seat and we'll talk about Saturday. How's that? Okay, so on Saturday, what's happening all day Saturday?
The Heifer Futurity is Saturday morning. So once that starts, that's going to take a little while to get through. It starts at 10 o'clock. And then we'll probably take about 45 minutes or so after the Futurity to get the awards out and ready to present to everybody.
Who do you have for judges this year?
The judges this year are John Helm, Ricky McLeod, Kathy Palladini, Josh Gentry, and Deborah Helm.
Nice, both Helms.
Yes, she was not on the original list, but one of my judges had something come up that they couldn't make it. So Deborah was gracious enough to step in to help out.
And we will do Andrea a favor by not mentioning the fact that she had to back out. But Deborah, it's always good to have, because things happen in life, right? And Deborah judged the Legend Sale. They're both highly qualified judges. And this panel knows what makes a really good animal. The Helms, they've been synonymous with greatness. So, and then Ricky McLeod.
Here's hoping Ricky brings some of his carrot cake.
Oh my gosh.
I've heard that that's happening.
I can't wait. That's delicious. If anyone hasn't had it, hopefully he'll bring enough to share with everyone, because that was really good. How about your sponsors this year for the sale and for the Futurity?
Oh, we've got a whole list of sponsors. I think Chase has been putting them out on Facebook daily. Check them out there. It's just, again, that's too many to start going through the list and
I think
trying to hit them all.
There were 27, 28.
Oh, wow.
Quite a few. And they range. We've got, longtime supporters, new first timers, and, that money goes right into the Millennium, helping it make it better, allow it to do the cool things like the Millennium Games. And it's not a cliche, but it wouldn't be possible without sponsors.
Absolutely.
Well, the last thing we'll talk about the Millennium is the Rooster.
Oh, the Rooster.
Yeah, I think Barb has never been so excited for the Millennium to come. I think she's ready.
She's even donating the carrying case to go with the Rooster.
So, there's a lot of people, this beautiful burden is what we'll call him. Don't know where he came from. So I think it was one of the last millenniums that Christy did as the managing partner. She wanted to do door prizes, right? So there were cattle sticks and Millennium T-shirts and bandanas. And she pulls out of her car this freaking chicken. And she's like, well, I found this. Christy's a trinket shopper. She's like, well, I found this, and we're just going to give them away. Well, throughout that weekend, it kind of evolved to, well, we're going to sell the chicken. We're not going to give them away. And then it turned into whoever buys the chicken gets to pick who's stuck with them. So I think that first year, and you might have bought it.
I bought it and presented him to Brent and Cindy
Bolin. And so he went to Brent, and Brent's name was Brent Frank. So we called the rooster Little Brent Frank. And then that evolved to, well, throughout the year, you've got to do social media posts, everything with them. And then the next year we'll come back, sell him, and he goes to a new owner. With the rule being, if the rooster is stolen, broken, anything like that, whoever has him has to pay whatever he sold for back to the Millennium. So the second year we came back. Well, then the next year was COVID, so Brent had him a second year. And then we came back again, and a group bought him and gave him back to Brent. So Brent had him for 3 years. Then the following year in Kentucky, a wonderful group of people, I think it was Chris Hesse, Callie Smith, Wayne Manning, and the Allens might have been involved, gave me the rooster, and he sold for $15,000. So I had him. All three owners had been in the hospital. Brent had his surgeries and stuff. We wound up having a kid under the tutelage of the rooster, and now Barb and Jason are expecting. So I think Christy got him at some kind of voodoo fertility shop. So there is a new rule on the rooster. There's no partnerships involved with buying. So people would, kind of get in their little circle and feel protected. Out the window. Everybody's in the crosshairs.
You're on your own.
And one I would really like to put out there is I think that if you've had the rooster before, you're immune. He scares me. I almost got put in the psych ward when I brought him into the delivery room when we had our kid. But, that's just the name of the game. And when you get the rooster, you get to write your brand on him. That's the history of Little Brent. And people they've been talking, Jaymie. They say, man, it looked good at Hired Hand. They're at every sale.
No.
She needs one more bag to carry on the plane.
Exactly.
Ann Gravett, the one who bought the first one. I mean, he looked good over the mountains. It's both a blessing and a curse with that stupid rooster. And that happened Saturday, right before the awards, right? We auctioned him off.
Yeah. And then we also sell the front cover of the catalog. This year, Cold Copper's on the front of the catalog. Beautiful design that they came up with. So that's something else. Just to make it fun. I really like my events to be fun and entertaining, and that's kind of my whole goal with it all.
Well, I think everyone that I've talked to is looking forward to it, and we'll see everybody this weekend.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it.
M7 Longhorns for the Millennium Rooster. Shameless plug. Thank you, Jaymie.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. as